In life, words are not simply sounds that pass through the air. They are seeds, seeds that carry the potential to heal or harm. When a man speaks to you, he is not just sharing his thoughts, he is planting seeds in your mind. What grows from these seeds depends entirely on their nature and your awareness. If someone uses words that diminish your spirit or question your value, these are not seeds of growth. These are weeds of destruction. Be very mindful, because what we allow to be planted within us will shape the garden of our inner world. As practitioners of mindfulness, we must constantly ask, what am I allowing into my sacred space? What am I giving permission to shape my thoughts and emotions? A person's words can be a reflection of their own inner chaos, and you must never let their chaos disturb your peace. Therefore, let us begin by observing the 5 types of phrases that serve as clear warnings. If a man says these things to you, it is not your responsibility to argue or fix him. It is your responsibility to walk away, to protect the peace you have cultivated. When a man says, "You're overreacting," he is not offering understanding. He is dismissing your reality. This phrase, though small, carries the weight of invalidation. It says, "Your emotions are wrong. Your perception is incorrect. Your truth is inconvenient." Emotional awareness is not a weakness. It is a strength. And yet, those who fear their own emotions often attempt to silence the emotions of others. By labeling your reactions as exaggerated, he is subtly training you to doubt your instincts. You must never allow another person to condition you into self-doubt. What you feel is valid, even if it is not understood by another. When your emotional expression is met with judgment instead of compassion, that is not a safe space. It is a warning sign. To walk away from such energy is not weakness, it is wisdom. For just like a tree must grow towards the sunlight, you must lean toward those who honor your light, not those who call it a storm. These words are often used as a weapon cloaked in concern. "You're too sensitive," he says, as if sensitivity is something to be ashamed of. But sensitivity is not a flaw. It is a sign of depth. It is the capacity to feel deeply, to notice what others miss, to care when others have grown numb. In the Shaolin tradition, the warrior is both strong and sensitive. Without sensitivity, one cannot perceive the subtle shifts in energy, cannot hear the silence, cannot see the unseen. So when someone ridicules your sensitivity, they are mocking a sacred part of your being. What you must see is the intention behind those words. Are they spoken with the desire to connect or to control? Is the man encouraging your growth or shrinking your spirit? Often, such phrases are used not to understand you, but to silence you. So remember, the river does not apologize for flowing, and you must not apologize for feeling. When your sensitivity is used against you, it is time to walk away. You were not made to become numb. This phrase may sound like commitment, but it is truly a mask for control. "You're lucky I'm still here," he says, as though his presence is a gift you must earn, rather than a choice made from mutual respect. Gratitude is beautiful, but it must not be demanded. If someone reminds you constantly of what they've done for you, they are not serving you. They are keeping score, and love does not keep score. True presence requires humility, not superiority. Manipulation often wears the costume of devotion. You may begin to question your worth. You may start to feel as though you must earn love through compliance. But love that must be earned through submission is not love, it is control. So if a man ever speaks this way to you, understand that his words are not rooted in appreciation. They are rooted in fear, the fear of not being in control. And your path must not be dictated by someone else's fear. This phrase is perhaps the most dangerous of them all. It plants the belief that you are inherently difficult to love. It isolates you from the truth that you are worthy exactly as you are. To hear someone say, "No one else would put up with you," is to hear them try to imprison your spirit. They want you to believe that they are your only chance at companionship, that without them you would be alone. But this is a lie spoken from insecurity. Your worth is not dependent on someone else's tolerance. You do not need to shrink yourself to become acceptable. You must never be grateful for someone who merely tolerates you. Your spirit was meant to be embraced, not endured. Walk away. Because when someone tries to convince you that you are unlovable, they are simply revealing that they have never truly loved themselves. When a man speaks this, what he is truly saying is, "I fear your power." For only a fearful mind attempts to claim ownership over another person's identity or worth. To say, "You're nothing without me," is an attempt to chain your self-belief to his approval. In the Shaolin teachings, true strength is the ability to stand alone in silence. Your worth is not dependent on relationships, titles, or validation. It is like the sun, existing and radiant, whether or not someone chooses to acknowledge it. This phrase reveals a heart that seeks dominance, not partnership. A soul that is unhealed, masking its fragility with control. Instead of celebrating your light, he tries to cast a shadow over it, so that you remain small, dependent, silent. To walk away is to remember who you are without illusion. No one defines your value. No one is the source of your essence. You were something before him, and you will be something long after. This is another subtle way that invalidation is dressed as advice. Stop being so dramatic, he says. But what he means is, be quiet, be small. Don't make me uncomfortable with your truth. This is not peace, it is suppression. When someone labels your pain as drama, they reveal their unwillingness to listen. And listening, truly listening, is an act of respect. Without it, no real connection can exist. What is dismissed today becomes resentment tomorrow. In the monastery, we are taught not to look away from discomfort. Discomfort is a teacher. But a man who avoids it by silencing others is not learning. He is escaping. And when someone escapes the truth, they are not walking beside you, they are hiding from you. So leave the space where your soul must whisper to survive, where your voice is only tolerated when it is quiet. You are not dramatic, you are expressive, and that is sacred. Comparison is the thief of presence. When a man says, "Why can't you be more like," he is not seeing you. He is projecting a fantasy and asking you to wear it. This is the moment he stops loving who you are and begins chasing who you are not. No flower opens in comparison to another. Each unfolds according to its own rhythm. To be compared is to be asked to abandon your nature, and in doing so you begin to shrink, bend, and contort, not into someone better, but into someone untrue. A man who compares you to others is not appreciating the uniqueness of your spirit. Instead, he is searching for control through expectation. But relationships are not made from expectation. They are born from acceptance. Walk away, because to stay is to lose yourself by inches, and self-loss is the slowest form of suffering. To be told, "You're too much," is to be told, "Please be less so I can feel more comfortable." But comfort at the cost of authenticity is not a fair exchange. Your fire, your energy, your passion, they are not too much. They are exactly what they were meant to be. Too often, powerful individuals are asked to dim their light, not because they are wrong, but because their presence exposes the shadows others are unwilling to face. You may find that some people mistake your intensity for chaos, but in truth, it is their stillness that lacks depth. In the Shaolin path, we train to embrace intensity with balance, not to fear it. Your intensity is a gift, a rare force that can illuminate, transform, and awaken. Never trade it for acceptance. If a man cannot stand beside your fire, let him step away. You are not here to be manageable. You are here to be magnificent. True connection does not calculate. When a man says, "You owe me," it is a sign that his actions were not born from love, but from expectation. He is not giving. He is investing, hoping for returns. This is not the spirit of harmony. It is a transaction. Obligation kills the soul. The moment you feel you are in debt for simply being, you are no longer in a relationship. You are in a contract, one in which your freedom is collateral. In the monastery, when we give, we release. We do not attach strings to our actions, for attachment leads to suffering. And when a man binds his kindness to conditions, it is not kindness at all. It is control with a smile. You owe no one your peace, your identity, your path. If someone demands repayment for what they gave freely, then they were never truly giving. "I guess I'm just the bad guy." This phrase is subtle manipulation wearing the mask of humility. When a man says, "I guess I'm just the bad guy," he is not taking responsibility. He is avoiding it. It is a way to stop the conversation, not to understand it. Instead of addressing your feelings, he diverts the energy back to himself. He plays the victim in a story where he has caused harm. This is not accountability, it is performance. And when someone performs guilt instead of feeling it, healing becomes impossible. In the monastery, we learn that true responsibility is silent. It does not need to be announced. It is seen through actions, not declarations. If a man cannot say, "I was wrong," but instead says, "I guess I'm just the bad guy," then he is more concerned with image than with truth. Walk away, because your peace cannot be built on the guilt of someone who refuses to grow. Let him play his part in his own story. You must continue writing yours with honesty and clarity. "You're always making me the problem." These words arise when someone feels threatened by truth. "You're always making me the problem," he says, as though being confronted with his behavior is an attack. But in truth, conflict is not about blame, it is about understanding. If a man views every conversation as a battlefield, he cannot build connection, for connection requires the humility to examine one's own actions without collapsing into defensiveness. In the Shaolin tradition, we are taught to hold both the sword and the mirror, strength and reflection. The man who can reflect without feeling diminished is the one who is truly strong. But the man who sees your truth as blame will never meet you halfway. So when every conversation turns into an accusation, when your need to express pain becomes his opportunity to play the victim, it is time to step away. You are not here to protect his comfort at the cost of your truth. You're just like everyone else. To be told this is to be erased. It is a statement that reduces your individuality to a stereotype. You're just like everyone else, he says, not because it's true, but because he does not have the courage to see who you really are. This phrase is often used in frustration, not wisdom. It is spoken when he cannot control the situation and chooses to belittle you instead. It is easier to place you in a box than to listen with presence. But your spirit was never made to fit in a box. In Shaolin thought, the lotus flower blooms from the mud, not because it is like the others, but because it follows its own path to the sun. You are unique. Your journey, your reactions, your thoughts, all of them matter. If a man refuses to see you as you are and insists on viewing you through the lens of his past wounds or projections, then let him go. You are not here to fight for recognition. You are here to live in your truth. You're lucky I don't leave. A threat disguised as a favor. You're lucky I don't leave, he says, not to express commitment, but to instill fear. These words are designed to make you question your stability, to make you feel replaceable. This is not love. It is intimidation. No one who loves you will make you fear their absence more than they nurture your presence. A man who uses his departure as a weapon does not value connection. He values control. The Shaolin monk does not threaten with absence. He offers presence with discipline. He does not say, "Be grateful I am here." He says, "Let us walk together in peace." Because love is not proven by staying in suffering, it is proven by choosing harmony. So if someone uses his potential to leave as a way to control your behavior, recognize the danger. That is not devotion. That is manipulation. Walk away and return to yourself. You'll never find anyone better. These final words carry a heavy illusion. You'll never find anyone better, he says, hoping to plant doubt in your spirit. But in truth, those who fear losing you will often try to make you fear losing them first. This statement is not about you. It is a reflection of his own insecurity. A person who truly values you will never make you question your worth. They will never need to compare themselves to an imagined future you may have. In the teachings we learn, the person who tries to keep you by fear does not understand love. Love is not a cage, it is a garden. And the moment someone tells you that no one better exists, they are trying to close your world, not expand it. But you are not meant to be caged. You are meant to grow, to find someone who does not compare or control, but walks beside you, rooted in awareness and respect. You see, walking away is not weakness, it is wisdom. To walk away from these words is to walk toward your own clarity. In this life, we are not here to be defined by others, but to awaken fully to who we already are. The path of the Shaolin warrior is not to win battles with others, but to end the war within. And sometimes that means stepping away from the noise so you can return to your silence. So if you hear these words, pause, breathe, and choose peace. Because peace is not something you find outside, it is something you protect within.